10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports,
An ARM Media production.
with your host, Brian Marshoni.
And welcome in, everybody, to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports. It's Brian here inside the ARM Media Solutions Studios on this Monday night, August the 3rd, 2026. My goodness, what a night. What a crazy busy day it's been in the world of sports. I got to tell you, it's really interesting. When you look at things and you see things and you hear things and how quickly things can go from what are they thinking, what are they doing, what are they expecting, to all of a sudden, now having the fact that you've got an opportunity to improve your team. And that is absolutely what has happened in Major League Baseball with the trade deadline. We're going to get to it all here in just a little bit. Let's talk first and foremost to get all the propers out of the way. First and foremost, if you are with us tonight on YouTube or X Live, thank you so much for being part of the show. We thank you very, very much for listening, for subscribing, wherever it is you are getting your podcast from. You can also check us out on TikTok and or TikTok Live at last.row.podcast. Thank you so much for doing so as well. If you are with us on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of the show. You can also find us on Facebook at The Last Row Podcast. And then, of course, our newest and really great venture and great partner that we've got with sideline.fm/Last Row Podcast. Make sure that you are listening there every single night as we are live. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk here a little bit about our friends over at I Know a Guy Remodeling. We'll hear from them here in just a little bit. Also, Forever Finds Thrift, thank you so much for their continued support. Fletcher, good evening. Welcome into the show. Happy to see you. All right, so let's talk Major League Baseball. It's trade deadline day. And let's see exactly what all has transpired, because quite honestly, it was a crazy day today. Started out not really knowing exactly what was going to happen in terms of the trade deadline. We didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen. And lo and behold, the Cubs got very, very active late in the day. Last night, they wound up picking up Kevin Gausman from the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a huge addition. He has been one of the guys that the Cubs have been eyeing for years. And now that they finally have him, he was acquired for not very much. Now, there are other players that they got today that were acquired for a ton. And so we'll talk about that here in a moment. But the Blue Jays trade Kevin Gausman to the Cubs. Gausman instantly becomes one of, if not their lead starter for the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll talk about that addition here in just a moment. Now, in terms of the rest of the day and what the Cubs did, I'm just going to tell you right here and now. To sum everything up, the Cubs were very, very active. And the Cubs were absolutely looking at so many different options. Now, we were very critical of the front office on this program. There's no question about it. We were very critical of Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins and saying, okay, what are they doing? Why aren't they, making a move? When Tarek Skubal got traded on Saturday evening, we said at that point in time, well, the Cubs have got to do something now. Cubs have got to do something now. And we waited. And we waited until last night when Kevin Gausman became the frontline starter for the Cubs. So now, with the Cubs, with the trade deadline approaching, they made some other moves. So last night they get Kevin Gausman in a trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay? Next up today, this afternoon, the Cubs shocked everybody. And I think it was a legitimate shock. I don't think this was something that was, for lack of a better term, thought that the Cubs were going to do. I think the Cubs actually surprised a lot of people in Major League Baseball with how aggressive they truly were today. And that's okay. They needed to do that. They needed to have that. They needed to have that determination, that drive, because, look, they've got to keep up with the Dodgers at this point, right? And by keeping up with the Dodgers, if they don't keep up with the Dodgers, it's going to mean that they are absolutely going to get steamrolled in the playoffs. And so the Cubs made a deal once again with the New York Mets. This time, the Cubs acquire right-hander Clay Holmes and outfielder Tyrone Taylor from the Mets for infielder Jefferson Rojas. Now, Rojas is the Cubs' number 2 prospect, or was the Cubs' number 2 prospect in their minor league system. And Rojas was very, very good. Rojas was a guy that, quite honestly, I thought had major league potential right away. Not sure, though, if they found any hole for him on the big league roster, especially when you consider you've got Dansby Swanson currently right there. You've got Matt Shaw. You've got Nico Horner. So, you've got a number of different guys that are available that can play multiple positions. So, with the Cubs, and with their ability to make this move, they then get Holmes and Taylor from the Mets. They weren't done at that point in time. They weren't done. They made another move. They sent Moises Ballesteros and Mason McGuire, yes, Mark McGuire's son, to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for relief pitcher Ryan Zefferjan. And Zefferjan is under control, and he will immediately become one of the closers, if not the closer, for the Cubs. Hard-throwing right-hander. Now, look, you had to give up a lot to get him. You gave up Moises Ballesteros, who was your designated hitter and or catching prospect, and Ballesteros has been okay. Ballesteros has played well in spurts here this year. Now, I will tell you, I saw him last year in Milwaukee, right around a year ago, and he was raw, he was green, but you could tell he's got pop there in his bat, and he absolutely does. He absolutely does. But here's the other part of it. In order to get pitching, in order to get a closer, in order to get to the next level, look, this is what you have to do. You have to spend money in order to make money, in other words, right? You've got to spend some money to do that. And so for the Cubs, they gave up a lot, but they were able to get hard-throwing right-handed reliever Ryan Zefferjan from the Angels. So let's just talk here a moment about what the Cubs have gotten here over the last 48 hours. Or last month, let's say. Okay? The Cubs have traded Cole Mathis, Aiden Moffett, Brett Bateman, Ty Southestein, Moises Ballesteros, Mason McGuire, Jonathan Long, Jace Beck, and Jefferson Rojas. They got back David Peterson, Aaron Savali, Kevin Gausman, Ryan Zefferjan, Braxton Garrett from the Marlins, Clay Holmes from the Mets, and Tyrone Taylor from the Mets. That's a hell of a haul for pitching. And you're giving up maybe one big league ready player in Ballesteros, maybe. So again, I believe that the Cubs have themselves a really good foundation now with pitching. They were able to get the relievers that they wanted. They were able to get the player control that they wanted for their pitchers. Look, Gausman has been on the radar for Jed Hoyer for a long time, going back all the way to 2020. Even before that, I think it was 2017, Hoyer wanted him, and they weren't able to get a deal reached. So, again, credit to the Cubs getting their guy. And they got their guy. And they got him today. And so, you look at that with Gausman coming to Chicago. You look at, the fact that the Dodgers got Skubal. And that move for Skubal realistically puts the Dodgers right in the front row, right? They're in the driver's seat. But the other part of this is that other teams were making moves too. And currently, right now, if we're just keeping track. Now look, the Dodgers just got, thank you, Monty. Let me know if that's any better. The Dodgers just got wind that all of this is getting swept by the Red Sox. And then from there, still not any better. Let me know if we're better now. Still not good. Okay. How about if I do that? Try now, Monty. You let me know what you... Anything? Am I still good? Am I bad? Am I ugly? Let me know here if you're still hearing an echo. No. So you still hear the echo. Okay. All right. Well, let me see here. Bad. Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to be right back. We're going to get the audio issue here fixed, and I will be right back with you here on the Last Row Podcast. Stay with us. All right. Thanks, everybody. Monty, let me know if we are any better yet at this point. JR, welcome in. Dr. Frush, welcome in. Not good still. There's still an echo, huh? Well, that's very odd because the only things that have been echoing, we've stopped. Okay. Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to end this right now. We're going to fix this again, or try to, and then we will be, let me see here. All right. I'm sure we're still echoing, right, Monty? How about if I do that? Is that any better? Any better? Frankie, hello. Still echo. Okay. I'm not sure what else it could be, to be completely honest with you. We're going to stop the stream here. Just going to delete it.